This is a combination marking gauge for marking out timber before you cut it. This part is the stem which slides through the stock. And this is the turn screw which secures the stock. On one side we have a single spur which makes a single groove. The other side we have two spurs, one of which is adjustable. The single spur is used to mark out a joint like this, where you need to find the centre line of the timber. The double spurs are used to mark out a joint like this, where you need two lines placed perfectly central. The first step in finding the centre line is to guess where it is using your eye and set the pin of the marking gauge at this point. Don't worry if it's not spot on the first time. Roll the gauge forward and plunge the pin into the timber, leaving a single mark. When you've done this, turn the gauge around and do exactly the same movement from the other side. Try and get the pinholes side by side so that you can compare them. Doing this helps to make the holes more visible. Here you can see that our guess was okay, but the true centre lies between these holes. Make an adjustment to get the single spur in between the holes you made, and you will have found the centre. When we want to make a mortise and tenon joint, we use the two spurs of the combination gauge. The width of the tenon is roughly 1/3 the width of your timber, so we set the spurs to the nearest chisel size like this. Holding the chisel and the gauge can be difficult, so grip the gauge lightly in a vise and make the adjustments with your free hand. The thumb screw at the end of the stem will move one spur so that you can get an accurate setting. The process now is exactly the same as with the single spur. Guess the middle using your eye. Turn the gauge around and adjust the stock using the thumb screw. Don't adjust the spurs. Now centre the spurs between your first two marks. The position of the tenon is now exactly in the middle of your piece of timber. It's worth noting here that you achieved this accurate marking out using no measuring tools. It was all done by eye. These brass inserts prevent wear and give the tool a long life. When we chop out our mortise with this chisel, it can be done in a single operation. It will fit perfectly because it's the same width as the hole made by the chisel.